For completeness in this back to basics, let's see what do we do when we have a Linux system rather than Windows. So the first thing that you may want to do is find out what version of Linux you are using if you don't know it already. And you can do that by doing showing the content of the etc os release file, and here we can see that this is a Red Hat. Okay. Now, how do you do the network definition? And there are some GUIs. Most of the operating system allows you to do these GUI wise, but let's do it the hardest of them all, which is command line, and therefore it will work for any type of version of Windows that you are using. Linux, that is. So if you go to this directory, it is sysconfig network script. The first adapter is, you can see the content by showing that file. You can edit that file, if cfg-et0. In some Red Hat system, in some Linux system, is ENS33 and ENS34 and so on. So the first adapter is ET0, the next one will be ET1 and in this particular system. So that's a small variation. But if you show the content of it, you see that in here we are defining that we are doing static address, we're specifying the address, and we're specifying the gateway and the net mask. But where is the DNS specified? Well, that is in this etc resol.conf file. And as we see, we're specifying there Quad 9. Now, let's take a look at some Red Hat documentation, and we can see the type of things that we can define there. If you want to use dynamic addresses, DHCP, but you put in boot pro instead of static, you put DHCP there. And you can even specify the DNS in there as well. If you don't, then it's going to go by this resol.conf. If the Linux version that you're using is Ubuntu, things are a little different there. If I look for a terminal, you can actually see the configuration if we do etc network interfaces. And here we see the similar definitions as we saw in the case of Red Hat. You can specify the DNS, the gateway, the subnet mask, the address, if it is in this particular case is static. And notice that it also uses the ENS33 and 34 nomenclature versus the old version of the ET0, ET1. If you make changes in the networking and you want to do similar to what we do on Windows with the ifconfig renew, you can actually issue this command. And this is valid by Red Hat, by the way. Etc init.d networking restart, and that will, it's asking me for a password here. This will also actually restart your services and give you the new setup that you have put in there. In Ubuntu, the resol.conf, if you make modifications, the system is going to be overriding those, so you can do your own research, but you will need to, the way I do it on Ubuntu is I install a package called resol.conf, all one word, and then I do sudo service resol.conf restart, and then that allows me to preserve the definitions that I do on their /etc/resol.conf. Again, short tutorial, so if you are getting yourself initiated into Unix, this is how you do your definition, how you can practice this with your pfSense device at home.